by the speaker, so should be able to hear. Can you hear everything all right? Can you?
I can hear you.
Okay, Tom, speak once. See if she can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we should be good to go. Okay, we are ready to begin then. So let's begin by standing for a moment of silence, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have roll call, please?
Brad Hint.
Here.
Tom Eggers.
Here.
Pete Hamill.
Here.
Chantal Ostra.
Here.
Ken Snyder.
I heard you, Ken, but I think you were on mute yet. No? All right.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, there we go. We got
Okay.
it. All right, very good. All right, then, next item is the approval of the agenda. I'll take a motion for that.
So moved.
Support. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
Hamill.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
All right. Next item is public forum. Is there anyone wishing to address the council at this time? And there have been no written comments, so let's move on then to our consent agenda, and I'll take approval for that. So move.
Support.
Comments or discussion? Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
Hamill.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
All right. Moving into new business, item 6A is the $3.7 million general obligation capital loan note. There's a resolution approving that. Who's going to make the first presentation? You or Scott or? Okay. Welcome back, Scott.
Hello. Glad to be back. I don't have a huge presentation here tonight, but just wanted to kind of be here to answer questions and walk through what the forward-looking steps are to bring this Western Avenue financing to a conclusion. So, fortunately, I have asked you folks to have a special meeting here in about a week and a half.
Pull your microphone as close as you can, just so that our dialed-in councilman can hear you better, perhaps.
Okay, is that better?
That's good.
Okay. So as I noted, you'll have a special council meeting I believe you guys have scheduled for October 28th. The action item tonight, or today I guess, is to authorize or approve the preliminary official statement. That's the document we use to market the bonds to investors. So leading up to the meeting on the 28th, we'll use that document in conjunction with the credit rating, which is due back next week, to solicit interest from investors. When we get to the council meeting on the 28th, I won't be able to be here, but the item that you'll have for consideration will be what's called a bond purchase agreement. That is a contract between D.A. Davidson and the city to purchase the bonds. So all the terms, including interest rates, are set at that point. From that point forward, not a lot changes. You do have a few other perfunctory actions. One is the resolution authorizing the issuance of bonds. That would be on your regularly scheduled November 6th meeting. And closing would occur somewhere around 2 weeks thereafter, so prior to Thanksgiving. Part of the reason why, it feels a little bit like we're trying to hurry up a little bit is TIF certifications are due December 1, so kind of the point here is ensuring that this transaction is closed before December 1 so that you can use it for TIF certification, which would be kind of the process to determine what your TIF revenues will be in the fiscal year 25-26. So with that, I don't have a lot more conclusive information at this point because interest rates aren't going to be set until we get a little bit closer to that date when the bond purchase agreement would be potentially acted upon. But I wanted to at least be here and answer any questions you folks may have about what that process looks like or what expectations should be going forward. Sam, did I miss anything?
So in the paperwork, you've used 4% as a marker?
Yeah, I would expect,
Coupon
I would
cost.
expect rates to be well under that,
Okay.
given current situation. You know, we were, if you just look at the 10-year Treasury as a kind of a baseline, which is a good benchmark that a lot of things price off of, the 10-year Treasury got down to about a 360 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's back up around 4% today, so we're a little bit off the low, but we came down consequentially in rates over the summer. So we're in a lot better spot to be borrowing money than we were even 3-4 months ago.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
I had a quick question. So,
Yeah.
thank you for the presentation. So, this is TIF debt, but it is all, this is TIF debt, but it is also, it also counts towards our constitutional debt limit or debt threshold. Could you talk about that briefly and where we sit?
Yes. I don't have that off the top of my
And
head. but
I do have it linked to the agenda item, but
Yeah, which I have here in just a minute. It looks like you're just over 50% of your legal debt limit, including this issue, when you take into account the city's valuation growth that occurred leading into this fiscal year. So I think you folks are well aware, through your budget process, the city experienced a large valuation growth from FY 23-24 to 24-25, the now current fiscal year. That growth of almost $100 million in actual value. So, you know, before you look at rollback, actual value is what your debt limit's predicated on. That led to a growth of about $5 million in terms of what your total debt capacity or debt limit could be. You know, when you look at what we're doing now, adding $3.7 million, frankly, that's less than what you experienced for valuation growth and, you know, correlating debt limit growth year over year from FY 23-24 to FY 24-25. So, you know, it sounds odd to say you're adding $3.7 million in debt, and yet at the same time you'll be reducing what your debt ratio is on a go-forward basis. So it's kind of a compliment to the city. I think, you know, you guys have done a lot of work from capital improvement and TIP infrastructure, and I think that's led to probably a lot of the growth. So, you know, you're getting the results you want to see.
And what you see, as a quick follow-up, what you see in other communities is that 75 or 80% is still considered an acceptable debt
Yeah.
threshold, and within 2 years will be down to 40%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be other needs, borrowing needs, right? So, like, that doesn't go away. Capital infrastructure for cities isn't something that's done for 20 years, ever. Just doesn't work like that. But, yeah, I think the city's in a very good position, you know, in terms of looking at what you have accomplished, but also what your capability is to deal with things on a go-forward basis. As Sam noted, you know, down to 40% of your debt limit in the near-term future, you could, you know, get up to that 75, 80%. And rating agencies, investors, underwriters, nobody probably thinks anything of it in that 75 to 80%. If you get above 90 or 95%, you know, you might have some negative implications, but you're miles away from that.
Okay. Any other questions? Ken or Chantel, anything from you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Okay, Scott, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Then what we need to do is approve of the resolution that addresses the operating statement. Is that what it's called?
Preliminary official statement.
Preliminary, there it is, preliminary official statement, and that's in the packet.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Eggers,
Aye.
Snyder,
Aye.
Ostra,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Hand,
Aye.
All right. Let's move on. Item B, which is the Sheldon Crossing Housing Incentive. Tanya, are you going to address us on that? All right, please step forward.
Good afternoon. Tanya Herrera with the Sheldon Chamber and Development Corp. Just to introduce this incentive with a little bit of background as well, we are going to sell 7 single-family residential lots out at the Sheldon Crossing for $1 each. This incentive has gone through the Housing Review Board, our Development Committee, as well as our full SCDC Board for approval. It is part of a bigger visioning that rooted from a rural housing readiness assessment that was done in 2021. So we are here to request that you waive the reimbursement to the City of Sheldon after selling those lots. With that being said, we acknowledge that there are questions and concerns, and we are open to answering those, whether that be now or if you need a hearing at a later date as well. And on that note, we will also need approval of the minimum assessment when we have it ready to be presented.
Okay. Any questions for Tanya at this time? Or comments?
I have one.
Okay.
Had one of the 3 builders of the duplex units nearby reached out this afternoon and requested that we consider waiting to do this until the duplex units have been sold. I understand that 2 have been sold of the 10. There was 5 buildings, 2 units each. So just passing along that that concern.
Thank you for passing along the concern. We will consider it.
Okay. Chantel, anything from you? Any questions about this?
I'm sorry, I missed what was said and what Tanya's response was.
Have you had a chance to see that letter from the SEDC about the incentives for selling 7 lots for single-family homes at $1 a lot?
Yeah, I did. Yep, I just missed the comment. Was that Sam?
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry, I say it again. One of the 3 builders of the duplex units reached out this afternoon to me, and I passed it along to Tanya and to the 2 board members that are also council members, requesting that we wait to do this until the duplex units have been sold nearby. There's 8 of the 10 that have not been sold.
Were you able to hear that now?
I did, yep.
Okay, very good.
Tanya, have a comment about that?
You do have a comment, you said?
No, I asked if Tanya did. I thought Tanya said something.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So, Ken, anything from you on this?
Well, I'm glad we're going to hold. I'm not for it. I've been contacted by several people, including 2 realtors that think it's a bad idea. And I personally don't think it's fair to the people who have already bought lots around, and I think it sets a bad precedent. I'm sorry I can't be there to share more. I couldn't hear a lot of what Tanya said, but I kind of know what's going on there. I would at least like to table this until we get more discussion and more input.
Okay.
I don't think it's the city that is giving it away, it's the taxpayers, and I don't think it's fair for the taxpayers as well. The city has a lot of expense into those, and I would think we could come up with some compromise. The lots are a little smaller, so maybe we can lower the price a little bit or tax abatement, something. But I think I would like a lot more discussion. That's all I have to say now.
So is he making a motion to table?
Are you making it as a motion now, or do you want it more? You want to hear more first, more discussion first?
Well, I would like to make it a motion, but if you want to discuss it, go ahead.
Well, I would just like to have a little bit more background at where the motivation came from this, what was some of the thought process that brought this to this point. Perhaps you could share some of that, some of the discussion that came out of the SCDC?
Yeah, so a lot of this rooted, like I said, housing has been a point of discussion even before my time here, and it is something that you can't resolve with one incentive, but this rooted from the need for expanding the housing market and just opening up the opportunity for more residents to build here in Sheldon, whether that be from locals or people looking to move here as well.
Okay.
And this isn't a lot different than we did with the last lots we sold for the duplexes. We gave those away for $1. So that's kind of where this came from in order to incentivize. There's been a lot of discussion. We've had the same discussion about, is it fair that somebody paid full retail and we're giving these away? Most of us related to, if you go downtown and you buy something at regular price today, and 4 months from now, they have it at 50% off, or 75% off as a closeout. Not a lot of difference. I know it's talking a lot of more money, but still similar differences. And how do we get housing? One of the individuals said, you build houses, you bring children to town to help improve the school and expand the population. And you do that through housing. So it's just a couple thoughts I've had about it. We've already sat on them for a number of years. Let's try to move them. I'd like to see houses built. You get the tax base built up. It's a trickle-down economy. The lumber yard gets some, the furniture store gets some. Maybe somebody will move out of an existing house to build a new house, and then somebody moves into their house, somebody moves out of a rental. So it's a dominoes effect, which is beneficial to the city.
You know, in the past, we've been, when we have incentivized or worked with industrial or commercial customers on some of those lots out at Crossroads, there was a payback period in terms of the lot price. Have you done any calculations in terms of that, in terms of the, you know, these lots are just about $30,000 a piece, they're close to it, the way it looks. Could you address that, please?
Sure. So the reimbursement spreadsheet is linked to the agenda, if you all want to take a moment and click on that. They're the ones that are highlighted yellow. No, that's the old ones. That's the one, those are the duplex ones. And not only were those given away, we also, or SCDC gave $10,000 per building, right?
Correct. There was a reimbursement at the completion of those
Right,
buildings.
so that's a little bit different. That was a little bit more lucrative than this. But anyway, in that spreadsheet, there's the 7 that are highlighted green. And so the payback to the city is roughly $5,200 to $5,500 a lot. So about $40,000 worth of waiver. Is that fair?
Yes.
And that $5,500 comes in terms of taxes paid annually?
No.
What is that number?
That $5,500 is what SCDC would not be paying back to the city.
Okay.
And we've done it in other neighborhoods. We sold dollar lots in the Sunshine Edition. We sold dollar lots around Fieldcrest, if I remember right. So it's not the first time we've done this.
Do you want to help me out with that? I don't feel like I answered this question. Mayor's quit. Do you want to?
I don't know the answer, but I think the mayor's question is, how long would it take to recoup the forgiveness of the
$30,000.
proceeds through the generation of property tax? Right.
Yes. Has that number ever been run? Have those numbers been run?
We do not have that calculation at this moment.
Okay.
But if we sell the lots, we not only get the money, plus we get the tax benefits too.
True.
I think we can promote the lots, and as I said, even some kind of compromise, but I can't see this $1. I just don't, it just doesn't make good fiscal sense to me. And as I said, I would like to have more input from people outside, because the ones who have contacted me and called me have made arguments that are pretty strong.
And so, Ken, what arguments are they making? Can you be more specific?
I'm sorry, Tom, I couldn't hear that.
Repeat the question, please.
Can you be more specific about their rationale, why we should do it?
Well, it's just common sense. We have so much invested in it, and we're giving it away. I mean, we're selling it. We're not making a profit to begin with. We're not out to make a profit. But the taxpayers are footing the bill to give someone a lot. I mean, at the bottom line, that's it. But I think the lots, it's not like we're not selling lots out there. And I agree, we have done this before, and there's been specific reasons, and I've even voted in certain cases because of the situation that it works. But these are normal lots, and I can't see the justification in it.
So why is this different, Ken, now than it was when we sold the lots for the duplexes?
To the north of it?
Yes.
Well, to be honest with you, that was an incentive to get a project going, and you've got to admit, we didn't get other houses around because of that. Plus, those were lesser lots because of the location. We felt that they wouldn't sell as readily, and it would be nice to get that enclosed to make it a more residential look. And there are situations, but these are lots right in the middle, and they're good lots. And when the businessmen and when realtors who know a whole lot more about it than I do come against it, and tell you the truth, I know of at least one in the SCDC committee there that wasn't for it.
Okay. Anyone else?
So I would just like to discuss it more and look into it more. I feel kind of handicapped here out in the middle of nowhere. I don't really know who's talking or what.
Okay. Justin, did you want to address this, council? Okay, Justin's going to address the council. Justin Jonas is going to address the council.
Justin Jonas here on behalf of the SCDC. I'm the chairperson of the board. So, Ken, I appreciate your comments as well. As we've looked at this, though, when we count the lots out there, there were 57 total residential lots, and 30 of them today are still unsold. So, you know, that's our biggest concern, is that we've got 30 lots out there that are not sold. So, you know, and we talked about, we've got realtors on the advisory committee as well. We do have people that are speaking to that as well. So we would just encourage you guys to consider doing this. Good?
I'm really not understanding that mic at all when they speak from there. I'm sorry.
Okay. He's saying that the development had 57 lots when it was opened, and to date, 30 remain unsold. And so the idea is to create more traffic, more desire for getting more homes out there.
So we're setting a precedent. Now, if I heard someone who's getting a lot free, then I would have less interest in buying one at full price when they got one free. Plus, I go back to when that plaza was built by the bypass there. I remember one person paying full price, and then all of a sudden he found out that a couple other lots for $1. I'm a minister. I don't want to hear those words again that was said and how ticked off he was. And I think there's a problem there as well.
But the people that have bought the lots already have had prime choice of prime lots. So if you want prime choice, you sometimes have to pay the prime price.
Well, we still have
And we've done this.
prime lots there too.
Yeah.
How many lots have sold this year?
I don't know the answer to that for sure, but I would estimate 2 to 3 lots per year. And even if we were to sell these 7 for $1, there would still be 23 lots available. So if you do the math, that's about 10 years that it would take to sell the rest of those. So that's just an estimation obviously.
Which, the question popped into my mind, we sell these for $1, those 23, are those going to go back to full price? Or are they going to remain at the price they're, full price? Or are we going to be setting price and we're going to be clearing them all out at $1?
That would not be the intention, but
Okay.
we do want to see growth as well. So
So,
we wouldn't say never, but
yeah.
the goal would be to put them back at the regular price. And these have always been incentivized. I don't know about from the very beginning, but a year ago you could have bought these for $10,000 off the price, and we still are very slow to sell them.
Good point. Did you hear that comment, Ken?
Not all of it. I just caught a word here and there.
Justin was saying that a year ago, lots were offered with a $10,000 off, and they were still not moving. So in terms of, so in answer to your idea of cutting the price on it, that wasn't enough incentive at that time anyway to sell more lots, really. They're selling at an average rate of 2 to 3 per year. And so even if we sold the 7 and the 23 are left, it would take another 10 years to get rid of those. I asked the question if they would stay at regular price or that we would be selling them at $1, all the rest of them. That is not the intention now. Not saying couldn't happen, but at this point, the 7 go for $1, and after that, you're back to regular price.
A couple of years ago, with the prices raised, a lot of people weren't building at that time. I can understand why things didn't go for a while, but it seems to be breaking a little bit more as far as building costs. Not as much as I'd like, but people just held off completely all over. So
Okay.
that's my argument against that.
And
I'm sorry I can't hear that mic at all.
One other caveat is it's gone through the Development Committee, the Housing Board, and the SCDC Board, and it's all been unanimous support.
There's been some hesitation by some of those in that, though.
If I might.
Yes.
So, I'm not taking a position on this particular issue, but I have a council member that needs to leave at 5:30, and we need to get a very important closed session in. So, I'd suggest either setting it for a hearing 2 weeks out or disposing of the item now.
I'd make the motion to approve the recommendation from the SCDC
Which is setting the hearing.
to set the hearing, yes.
Okay.
Support.
Any further discussion?
So this
What was that motion?
This sets a hearing for
To
2
set
weeks.
the hearing.
For 2 weeks hence, there will be a hearing to discuss this and then approve if it passes.
For clarification, are you talking about on the special meeting? If not, it would be 3 weeks,
No,
because we have an extra week.
It would
true.
be 3 weeks, yeah, I don't think we want it on that Monday.
No. The next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Good point.
Yes.
Okay.
So this just sets a hearing, Ken.
Okay. We have more discussion then?
Yes.
Yes. So we have a motion. Do we get support?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion? Chantel?
Nope.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Ostra,
Aye.
Hamel,
Aye.
Eggers,
Aye.
Kent,
Aye.
Snyder.
There's more discussion, aye.
Okay. All right, then let's move on to item C, which is the introduction of the SEDC resolution. Who's going to take care of the introduction? Tanya, you get that too? All right, very good.
Once again, Tanya Herrera with the Sheldon Chamber and Development Corp. I just want to make a few quick comments to introduce the SEDC resolution with the City of Sheldon. This represents an important advancement in our working relationship between SEDC and the City of Sheldon. This resolution allows for us to have more independence as the individual organization that we are, while still holding a certain level of accountability with the city, and we do have active council members on our board as well. And we may still need to come back at some point for land development assistance, aside from what is already outlined in the resolution. But it is important that we understand what this means for both organizations, and if you haven't, so I invite you to read the resolution that is attached on the City Council agenda, as well as that letter that we wrote on behalf of the SEDC.
Any questions for Tanya? Or discussion, comments, etc.?
I would say that this represents kind of the fruition of what the SCDC was originally put in place for, and that was for them to be able to be more financially sustainable in their efforts to move development along for the city of Sheldon. So I guess I'm in favor of it as it stands at this point. So.
Anyone else?
So how does this affect the relationship to the city?
I think the easiest way to describe it, this changes it from a parent-child relationship to a sibling relationship, with the city being the older of the two. But I think it's something that we've been working on for a long time, and it was discussed even before Tanya came, and it's a big change. But when you have a situation, for example, where you have options to buy land that are in SCDC's name, and the only way to really buy that land is to have the funding to go with it, that's another reason. That's just one part of this, but it's another reason on why that this is important to at least consider. This also increases, in a way, the transparency, because you have in the budget process, you'll have the budget request, and it'll be a lot clearer. You might still have appropriations that happen supplementally throughout the year, but there wouldn't be as many checks going back and forth as there are now.
Does it change the physical structure or relationship at all? In other words, right now, if SEDC was sued, we would underwrite that because it's part of the city. Does that change that?
I think you're talking about a structural issue that's a bit different than what's being done through these statements and memorandums and as such. Currently, the SCDC is a standalone legal entity, has its own articles of incorporation, its own bylaws, its own board. It is, for tax law purposes, a supporting organization, but that doesn't make its actions the actions of the city and vice versa. They are already separate entities.
Okay.
So we're not dealing with that. We are dealing with changes, and then this has been not just through this action, but in terms of who employs whom. And I think, as I read this, it has a lot to do with how much oversight is in place or expected, even though from a legal standpoint, there is no subordinate relationship between the two entities. Does that answer your question?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry I only got
No,
somewhat.
that's quite all right. Is there such a thing as ownership?
Meaning what?
Does anyone own SCDC?
SCDC is a corporation that has members. Those members include Downtown Hardware and Hy-Vee and the school and all kinds of other businesses and entities within the city of Sheldon. Those are its members. It doesn't have shareholders in the sense that you can buy stock, but it has members. And those members have different voting rights, and they get to choose the board, and it's controlled through the board on behalf of those members. So pay your dues and do what's asked as a member, and you have a voice in SCDC.
Okay. Good enough?
Yep.
Thank you.
So item 3 in the resolution, it addresses reimbursement, paying back the city beyond the $18,125 per acre. That would be now voided. Is there an implication then for the lots that we were just talking about with our previous discussion?
So, forever and ever, well, about as old as I am, maybe, there's been this kind of understanding that when the SCDC acquires ground, it has to reimburse the city. It dates back to what's called an MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, that I think goes back to the Vandersloot transaction way back when. And that MOU has been applied from that point forward, I hope I have the starting point right, from that point forward to basically every ground that SCDC owned requiring a payback. So there's still, it's a little bit fuzzy really what that original MOU was intended to do, but in practice, you've had a payback requirement ever since. And this resolution would say that MOU and the way it's been applied is done. Meaning every time the SCDC wants to sell a lot or sell a piece of ground, it doesn't need to come back here and ask for your permission, city council, to waive some type of payback amount. So a long way of saying, yes, voiding or eliminating that payback requirement would also apply to Crossroads because that's the current practice. And I think if you look back at the however many lots that have been sold, most, if not all, of those lots involved a waiver. I can't say that with certainty, but it seems like most, if not all, and Justin, I think, is agreeing with me.
Certainly been the trend.
Yeah. You have to, the time where the payback has happened has been relatively few and far between. When the payback was actually implemented, Ken, has been few and far between.
Okay. Anyone else? So then we need a motion to approve the setting of the hearing for November 6th.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Ostra.
Aye.
Hand.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Okay. Item 7. Do you want to come back to that or keep moving here? Introduction of the capital improvement plan?
Yeah, I'll just keep it brief.
Okay.
So there are some changes that need to be made. There's a few changes for PD and a few of the other departments. This will be coming back. I'll have this on the next few agendas before it's approved. So we can talk about it further in a few weeks.
Okay. Anything else by way of your report?
No, sir.
Todd, anything from you today?
Thank you, Mayor.
Tanya, anything else from you? Chief, acting chief? All right, Eric. Angie, anything from you?
No, thank you.
Micah?
One correction, that MOU is about as old as me as a lawyer, not as a person, which are not the same.
Thanks for clarifying that.
For the record.
Counsel to my left. To my right, Ken, anything from you?
No, thank you.
Chantel?
No, thank you.
All right. Just one quick reminder, there is an open house for Millie Voss celebrating her 90th birthday, 2 to 4 p.m. at the Summit Building, which is on the village campus, on this Saturday, the 19th. So if you can, stop out and wish her well. You can also send her cards. Address can be available off the website. So with that, we need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Support.
Hey, don't hang up, okay?
Okay, roll call, please.
Kent.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Ostrowski.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye. All right.
Chantel, I'm all set up in there, so I'm going to hang up on you now, and can you call back in?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You'll have to shut it off when you guys are gone.
Okay. Hi.
Have a good one, Todd.
Yeah, we'll see if they say, Mike saw your comments today, but I don't think they, so I'll get back to you.
Yeah, sorry, that was kind of loaded up. I was just making my coffee this
That means
morning
you're reading
and
it.
going
I like
through it.
that.
So, yeah, nothing in there fundamental except for the Sioux County and the building permit stuff.
Okay, I just look at that close again,
Yeah.
it's on my phone, but I'll.
Okay.
Yeah, so that Chantel can hang out here and then that way I'm not right outside. That's probably a good idea.
Hey, are you with me?
I'm here.
Okay. Chantel, are you with me? Chantel?
You left that phone on?
You can't take a look out here.
Oh.
Then the music.
Why is the, well, I don't have the lapel.
Something that from in there is coming through in here.
What are you dialed into?
I'm dialed in. At downstairs. Well, that's strange.
Who's talking?
I don't know.
What was on?
Yeah, but it's on the phone in there. See if you can still hear in there. If not, I'm just gonna shut it in. Dialed into his Zoom in there, right? I can still hear. What did I say? We need an update?
And then go figure that it doesn't
I'm just shutting off.